Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Right, it's Friday today of the week. We turn to the BonBon buddies over on Patreon and say, hey guys, vote us in a map. They've gone with this one. Now this is part of a series that we've done quite a few of these actually by this creator, where they take all the vanilla maps, all the old maps, the ones that we aren't big fans of, mostly. There are one or two exceptions, but mostly they're not great maps. And then they've turned them into actually a very pleasing set of playable maps. So all credit for that. Now this isn't one of the vanilla maps, this is one of the vanilla scenario maps. Fix a Traffic, seen that one? Me neither. I've actually not bothered with the scenarios, and so this is going to be completely new to me. I can tell you though, it's a very pleasing playable map. 2 Ps. A third one, how about this one? Please hit the like button because you're just really nice people. That's a fourth one. People. Pleasing people. Okay, today's map is a Regal Hills Remastered by Sandite Spartan 117. Haven't said those words for a long while. Sandite Spartan 117. Good name. Very strong name. Not sure why Sandite Spartans 1 through 116 were taken though. There's your start square. Pretty usable, I would say. Very pleasing. Again, pleasing is a word for today. The terrain heights, 25 tiles, very playable, never P word, and then resources aren't particularly plentiful, but they are, you can use them. They're in the 25 tiles again, and very, they're enough. Fishing, there you go. If you've got Sunset Harbour, I would say there's probably enough to keep you busy there as well. Off to the workshop, what do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. You might also need another DLC, but we'll talk more about that one later. We've got a pretty good description. We'll be using the Canada Summer theme and the Relight Neutral LUT. And there's a little note there to BonBonB if you're reading this. Well, I am reading this and I have read this, and I will cover this when we get to that part of the map. It's fine. It's I know you put that in as a kind of disclaimer to cover yourself, but actually, on this particular map, I think it didn't really matter. It was okay. What you've done is okay. Right, anyway, down to ground level. And we have the 2-lane mass transit highway, which I think is very, again, we're going with the word pleasing. It's very pleasing. I've got a great vista as well on this map. The theme is rather nice. It's a take on the Switzerland theme apparently, and then just adjusted a little bit here and there to make it just a bit more, again, pleasing. And I would say we are on to a winner. So anyway, I think we should give a shout out to the creator of the Canada Summer theme, which I'd say works really well with today's map. That creator was Sandite Spartan 117. But, as I said, it is based upon another theme, so textures were borrowed across and so I want to give a shout out to the creator of the Switzerland theme as well, which was Sandite Spartan 117. Sandite Spartan's been getting their hands very, very dirty recently in the making of themes and maps, and I approve. So have a pat on the hat, pat on the head even, a pat on the back, and a rub of the tummy. Although you can do your own tummy rubbing. I'm not going to get my hands dirty that much. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about the map. We have the one highway that runs across the map. Now, if it's a fix the traffic scenario, that would be where your problem's going to come. And traffic all having to come down the one road to... we've seen many a map that has just the one highway. I don't think it's going to be too much of a challenge to the more experienced players out there. Obviously the 2-lane mass transit highway limits the amount of traffic that can come on the road, but I'm sure you'll find a way around it. In terms of what other exciting things there are about the map, I would say, well, it looks pleasing. I think the tree mix, again vanilla, has been done quite well, and I think the trees work very well again with the theme works with the trees. I have one minor grumble with the aesthetics, but we'll get to that in the second half of the show. It is a minor grumble, it's a personal thing, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be people from this part of the world or similar parts of the world that'll say, well, actually, you don't live in such a place, so you can't comment. Anyway, right, let's talk about lane merging and stuff like that. This looks very good to me. Now, the lane arrow, I think there's a thought that I would want that right-hand arrow there to point straight on. But I think with it pointing to the right, with an angle of the road like that, what it's doing is it's telling the driver to take the right-hand lane, as opposed to crossing across to the centre lane. And the same with this road coming out here. So actually on this particular map, I don't mind that arrow isn't pointing straight on. And of course, in terms of vanilla gameplay, which was explained in the description, then that kind of works really well for lane merging as well. So I guess everybody's a winner today. I'm pleased. I find the angle of the lane merge pleasing. I think the whole thing works quite nicely. Anyway, now we're heading off towards, this is your start square intersection. This is quite pleasingly detailed. It's a little bit of light detailing, a little bit of fencing around the outside there, a little bit of park life fencing. And then we have a few dotted trees down there as well. And there's your start square entrance. That's all clean and crisp and again, I think it's one of those maps I would use the word pleasing. On the whole, pleasing. I'll go with that. It's a good word. So yes, yeah, park life fences. Now, the thing with having DLC content is a lot of it, you can just like with the park life props, the rocks, you can use them whether you have park life or not. It was part of the free update, and you'll see a couple of the other park life assets on today's map as we do the flyovers. Now, the rail, I don't know what to tell you about the rail. It's as mundane and boring as I am. So I think credit for that one. I think many a person thought for years that I'm erring on the borderlines of being boring. And I would say you're probably right, actually. This is why I have a factoid book, because I ran out of things to say. I've actually reached out and picked up the book just to sort of emphasize this, and you can't see that. I could be scratching my left ear and you would not know. I would say you'd find it very difficult because I've got a headset over my left ear at the moment, but not my right ear, actually. I'll leave that right ear uncovered. Bit of useless trivia here. I'll leave my right ear uncovered so I can hear my own voice while I'm talking, and then my left ear covered so that I can just get the pace of the music, because that little beep 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 beep, that thing, that just sets the mood for me, and it just really helps to be able to hear the music as I'm going along. Do the same with the chart show, actually. It just helps me get the pacing right. Anyway, we are, speaking of right, we're right at the edge of this map. We've done the boring rail route. Nothing wrong with the rail route, nothing to complain about. We'll be back after this intermission.
Have you never quite worked out how to use Ploppable Rico? And what the heck is Ploppable Rico anyway? Then you need the Beginner's Guide to Ploppable Rico by BonBonB. Click the information button below.
And back to Regal Hills Remastered by Sandite Spartan 117 and the shipping routes. We have a little shipping triangle here which will take you into the little bay area up there. I think that works quite neatly. And then if we cut across the map to the other side, we'll find another shipping route which goes up into a bay area over here as well. And that, I think, works perfectly fine as well for what it is. Alright, okay, then we'll have a look at the water flow. And I was a little worried about the water flow on this one because these rivers don't look like they have a huge capacity. And it might end up being a big city. I think actually though you're going to have enough certainly to get you going. And then by the time your city gets to a certain size, you'll have access to other water sources as well. So actually I think we're probably good to go on this one. And strong water flow once you get out to the bay there. Right, okay. The water, the rivers and stuff, the colour of the water is very turquoise, matte turquoise. And I think it works on this particular map. It's not my favourite. It's a personal thing, not my favourite. It's got like a big bucket of blue paint has been poured into the top of the river. At the top of the river, though, we don't have a big bucket. We have a dam and a nice little reservoir, leading from there across to another reservoir. Of course, with the dams in place, you know you've got access to power, which is good. And then a neat little rock-detailed river going up to another little lake at the top, which I like all of that. Now, let's talk about stuff that I'm a bit confused, or not confused, but not a big fan of. The snow painting. Now, I believe this is sand. I haven't checked, but I believe this is sand being used as snow. And, well, if the snow's melted on the top, why hasn't it melted on the side? Is it sunlight, direct sunlight on one side, but then why is there no... I can't see any pattern to where the snow is melting. I think maybe one side of the hill would have snow and the other not, or something along those patterns. Back to Park Life. Here we have a hill with a couple of viewing platforms, and we've got a really nice view. If we have a look over there, you can actually see down to the start square and the asset of the day already in place over there, which is neat. Vehicles roving past my window. If you can hear them, apologise not in advance. Not in advance at all. And a great view from there as well. Apologising in advance would be doing it at the start of the show, wouldn't it? Yes, I don't know what I'm talking about. Right, and then over to the start square. Now, here is the problem. We have a killer problem. I hate to say it. This fence is the Park Life fence, and we've already mentioned that you can use Park Life assets, but you can't use Park Life networks. If you use a Park Life network, there's proof that it's a network and just not a string of props, that will break. So you need Park Life. If you haven't got Park Life, this map will be broken. And sadly, it's not listed as a requirement on the workshop page. So yeah, that's the killer, I'm afraid. I don't like doing that. But I do like doing this. Looking at the asset of the day. I know it's probably the least popular part of the show, but I like it, so it's staying in. There you go. This is the Sarawak State Legislative Assembly building by xonedl. I think we'll just call it the SSLAB from now on. The slab. Wow, how about that? Anyway, well, it's just a majestic building. Couple of little outbuildings on the outside. The small circular ones are separate buildings that you place yourself. And factoids, because factoids. Oh, this is very, very similar to a certain mosquito factoid we've had 20 times. Only the male canary is able to sing. I would imagine that means it leaves plenty of opportunity for the female canary to nag. You still singing? The washing up needs doing. I think canaries do washing up. Maybe Norwich City supporters. Anyway, yeah, this is a really lovely asset. Big fan of this. Yeah, the slab by xonedl. Today's asset of the day. Links, of course, to all the assets and maps are always in the description of the video. Right, I think we are closing in on the end of the show. So this viewing platform definitely seems like the place for the thumbnail. So if I spin the camera down there and I turn to you guys and say, hey, what do you think of today's map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month, of the day, of the month? Only you can decide. Click the I button now in the top right hand corner of your screen. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple or a Patreon account. But what do I think of today's map? Well, aesthetically, I'm going to use the word pleasing again. I find this map very pleasing. I think the theme works very nicely. I think it's not going to the next level. I'm not really sold on the snow, and the watercolouring is a little bit funny for me. But again, I think it does work with the map. I want to go 4 stars, but I'm going to go low 4. Detailing. There's some sound and strong detailing on here. I don't think there's enough of it. There's nothing that really grabs me and says, this is amazing. So I'm going to go for a high 3. It's a good solid score. Gameplay potential. Again, I think this is a 3-star map. It's got 3, is that a high 3 probably? Yeah, bordering on 4. But not listing Park Life is the killer, and I have to award it 1 star because as it is, technically speaking, it's broken. Technically. It's not, but technically. Regal Hills Remastered by Sandite Spartan 117. That is that's a very pleasing map. I think there's going to be a lot of you that'll actually look at that and go, do you know what? I'd be quite happy to play that, and so you should be, because it's got playability written through it. Anyway, we are just about at the end, which means it's your chance to use the words of the day to prove you're part of the 20 and out elite. Do that into the comments, score yourself some population points just for fun, and I'll be back tomorrow with the Saturday map. And it looks quite good at first glance. I've not checked yet. We'll have to see.